Mikel Arteta reportedly wants to sign 2 strikers this summer, with one set to be of a false 9 profile. So with Juventus' Paulo Dybala set to be free at the end of the season, will the Gunners come swooping in? What's the latest from Fabrizio Romano on Bukayo Saka's contract? And could Benjamin White be set for a new position? Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Bowers14. Welcome back to your boys channel, and I want to apologize because I left you guys for 2 days, and I know the international break is a massive struggle, so I hope you guys have survived during this time. But we are back with the Arsenal content, and I have a quick little announcement. Your boy is now officially on the TikTok. It will essentially be little snippets of these Arsenal news videos that I do, so if you are interested, the first link down below in the description, click that, follow your boy, and much appreciation. Apart from that, smash a like, subscribe if you're new, and let's get into the Arsenal news. And starting off with the latest Arsenal transfer news. Over the past few days, we discussed the likes of Darwin Núñez, and before that you've got Dominic, CalvertLewin, you've got Jonathan David, Alexander Isak, all very decent and different types of strikers. But it's been confirmed by very reliable sources that Arsenal and Mikel Arteta is identifying 2 striking targets this summer, and one is definitely going to be of a false 9 type of profile. Now, the dream signing in that position would indeed be Atletico Madrid's João Felix, but when you're talking over £100 million, it's going to be a very difficult transfer to make happen. But Arteta still wants that false 9 profile, so let's get on a flight and let's go all the way over to Turin and to Juventus. Because as the Juventus director has confirmed, we won't extend Paulo Dybala's contract. We are not going to do any other proposals. The decision has been made, with Fabrizio Romano saying that Dybala's agent will now open talks with other clubs. He is free to join any club as his contract runs out in June. The Argentine international, 28 years of age now and a player entering the peak of his powers, talk to me about Paulo Dybala. When a player of that caliber becomes available for the price of nothing, of course Arsenal are going to come around hovering. And so according to Tutto Mercato in Italy today, Arsenal have held talks with Paulo Dybala's representatives to sign him as a free agent this summer. This can be seen as a massive opportunity for Arsenal Football Club. This is a guy that excels in that false 9 profile, very secure in that final third in terms of pass completion, excels when it comes to dribbles and key passes and even shot created actions, and has 13 goals and 5 assists this season. Over the course of his entire Juventus career, he has been involved in 161 goal contributions in 283 appearances. But Dybala is most definitely going to be a man in demand, so not only will Arsenal need to have Champions League football, but what's also going to be extremely important is the overall wages. Now, when you get a player on a free transfer, you're not paying any transfer fee, and so in turn what happens is a lot of times the agents of these players will go to the clubs and go, give my player a very decent contract. You just look at Aaron Ramsey, who went from Arsenal to Juventus on a free transfer. The guy was on £500,000 a week. But talking about Arsenal and wages, according to Football London, Arsenal are set to save up to £41.6 million per year in wages with the departures planned for the summer. Last summer Arsenal let go of some massive contracts, with Willian going, David Luiz going, and then you had Aubameyang's £350k a week also off the bill in January. If Lacazette is also to leave Arsenal in the summer, that is again over £200,000 a week off the Arsenal wage bill. Arsenal do have the wage capacity to give Dybala a very decent contract. So financially, I do believe this is a viable transfer. But what do you guys make of Paulo Dybala? What are your thoughts on this player? And at the age of 28, available on a free transfer come the end of the season, with a false 9 profile kept in mind, is he a player that Arsenal should be signing on the free transfer? From Turin to Merseyside, let's talk about Dominic CalvertLewin, because following reports today that he had agreed a deal with Arsenal, his representatives have come out and said that CalvertLewin has not agreed any deal with any club. He is currently working very hard in training and is fully focused on finishing this season strong with Everton. Now this is low-key interesting. The reason behind that is because how often over the past few years has CalvertLewin been linked to transfers, whether it's Arsenal, Man United or any other club? So you have to ask the question of why in this specific circumstance did the people of CalvertLewin actually come out and comment on a specific situation. As the saying goes, there is no smoke without the fire, so I think it's very interesting, but it's of course down to personal interpretation. But talking about DCL, I have seen a lot of conversations on Arsenal social media today about the player himself and whether he is the right fit for Arsenal Football Club. For myself, he would not be my #1 option, but at the same time, I don't think he's nowhere near as bad as some fans are making him out to be. And if Arsenal were to sign him in the summer, as long as Mikel Arteta wants him, I wouldn't be entirely opposed to that. And that's because, as Rohan points out, almost every Arsenal attack we attempt concept to create ends with a cutback cross delivered into the box. One of DCL's biggest strengths is his movement inside the 18-yard area. Attacks both the front and back post with conviction, but also knows when to drop into the pockets to receive a cutback. He is a real fox in the box and has the aerial presence, so if Arsenal would sign DCL, you just think about Kieran Tierney and the deliveries this guy puts in there. From those type of chances, DCL would be feasting. But at the same time, I understand there's a lot of contrasting opinions on Dominic CalvertLewin. So let's get down below in the comments and let's talk about the player himself. And if you were given the opportunity, do you believe that Arsenal should sign him in the summer transfer window? Keeping it in the Premier League, according to Neil Moxley of the Mirror, Arsenal will offer Marcus Rashford an escape from Old Trafford this summer. Now, as Fabrizio Romano has already confirmed, Rashford is potentially looking to leave Man United in the summer transfer window, and he's also only going to have 1 year left on his contract. And does Mikel Arteta have the coaching capacity to make Rashford a top winger? Potentially he does. After all, let's not forget that last year this guy had 32 goals and assists in all competitions. And he's also still 23 years old, so he's got time on his side, and even though he's having a poor year, I still see there is a player in there. But hearing the fact that he's on nearly £200,000 a week, if he was to come to Arsenal, this guy wouldn't be taking a pay cut. So with the current climate Arsenal have in terms of the current wage structure, are Arsenal going to be wise here, giving nearly £200,000 a week of the wages to a player who, as things stands, can't even start for a struggling Man United? Talk to me about Marcus Rashford, and if you were given the opportunity in that summer transfer window, is he a player that you guys would like to see Arsenal sign? Moving on, let's discuss our star boy Bukayo Saka. He was of course on international duty with England, but unfortunately had to pull out due to COVID. But for Arsenal's sake, that could be better in the long term, because right now he's chilling at home, playing on the PlayStation, recovering, recuperating and getting fit and ready for the return of Arsenal in a week's time. But during this international break, the question is once again being asked is what is happening with Bukayo Saka's contract. Well, according to Fabrizio Romano, Arsenal are preparing their opening proposal to extend Bukayo Saka's contract in the coming months, and the new deal will be discussed at the end of the season. On the player's side, Saka is really happy with his Arsenal life. With the end of the season approaching, if Arsenal can get this contract signed, sealed and delivered, can also give us that Champions League footy, then us Arsenal fans can relax, sit back and enjoy life. And if it was down to me, I would give Bukayo Saka the Inaki Williams contract, a player that plays for Atletico Bilbao and is currently signed to a 9-year contract. From one Arsenal winger to another, let's talk Nicolas Pepe, who, talking on his Arsenal future, has said, "I'm focused on how well we do until the end of the season and the club's targets, which is getting into the Champions League. Then we will see what happens." So Pepe has kept the door open for a potential summer transfer, and for Arsenal it's going to be a massive question of what do they do with his future. He's a player that every time he goes onto international duty with the Ivory Coast, he turns into prime Iron Robin. But for Arsenal, we have Bukayo Saka as our starting right winger, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. He's now entering his peak years, so I highly doubt that he will want to sit those years out on the bench for Arsenal Football Club. I still believe that Pepe has a lot to offer until the end of the season. But going into the future, what do you guys make of Nicolas Pepe? And come that summer transfer window, is it time for Arsenal to cut their ties, make as much money back as possible, and sell Nicolas Pepe? It wasn't meant to be like this, but anyways guys, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Arsenal's Benjamin White put in a strong shift for England as they beat Switzerland 2-1 in an international friendly. And as you can see on screen, here is Ben White's heat map during the game, and it is very interesting. Now in the first half he was playing as a right-sided centre back in a back three, but in the second half Ben White was actually playing as an overlapping right back and actually impressed in many ways. Now that's a role that he has played in the past for Brighton, and even for Arsenal in the season, the games against Norwich away, he was playing as an inverted right back. And so with the returning William Saliba, now you've got Arsenal fans asking the question of, could we have a back four of Tierney as the left back, Gabriel and Saliba as the centre backs, and Ben White as the inverted right back? For me, I kind of see where it comes from, but let's not forget we do have Takahiro Tomiyasu, who is tailor-made and even better than Ben White as the inverted right back. But I still see Ben White as an overall centre back, and I think even though he can deputise as a right back when needed to, could Mikel Arteta turn him into a long-term inverted right back? Personally, I'm not so sure. Do you believe in the long term Ben White should be used as an inverted right back? Moving on to the other Arsenal news today, and starting off with an ex-Arsenal centre back, an ex-Arsenal captain and an ex-French international, and that is Mr. Laurent Koscielny, as the former Arsenal captain has officially announced his retirement from professional football at the age of 36. Now the way that he left Arsenal wasn't the best, and his Achilles injury in that final year did hold him back back. But over the course of his entire Arsenal career, if we're talking prime Laurent Koscielny, we're talking 2011, 2012, 13 and 14, you could indeed make the argument that he was Arsenal's best centre-back so far during the Emirates era. Of course, now we have the likes of Gabriel and White, but these players still have to do it for a longer period of time. I wish him the best of retirements, but my question to you guys is, was he Arsenal's best Emirates era centre-back? It is stat time of the day, as only 3 fullbacks have made 20 plus Premier League appearances this season and have been dribbled past fewer than 10 times. You've got Tariq Lamptey with 9, Kyle Peters with 9, and Kieran Tierney with 1. One time has Kieran Tierney been dribbled past so far this season. That is an immense stat, and it's a bit surprising because I have seen quite a few Arsenal fans actually get on the back of KT this year and say he hasn't been at his best. Now, of course, he's had a couple injuries and so he was in and out of the team, and going forward I think he can still be better. But I think you also can't forget that Arteta has used Tierney in a bit of a different position. In the past it was almost a left wing back, but now it's more of an inverted left back, and I think Tierney is now slowly starting to develop into that. If he can add more variation going forwards in terms of overlap, I still stand by it, as Tierney has all the qualities to be one of the best left backs in the world. But talk to me about yourselves, and what have you guys made of Kieran Tierney's performances so far this season? And here's another stat for you guys, that Thomas Partey has the 3rd best dribble success rate in Europe's top 5 leagues this season, with 40 plus dribbles attempted, behind Marco Verratti and Frenkie de Jong. Ball carrying excellence from the Ghanaian is beautiful scenes, and Thomas Partey has so much in his repertoire. Defensively he's very sound. In terms of interceptions, he's almost like an octopus. His passing has also become even more incisive, firing balls into the final third. But his dribbling has always been one of his strengths, and for Arsenal it is very important, because when teams now try to press Arsenal, when you've got a player like Partey who's so good at being press resistant, we are far more capable of playing through that press and causing those teams big issues. Where do you guys think that Thomas Partey ranks as it stands in terms of the top defensive midfielders in the Premier League? And here's the final stat for you guys. Points per game in the Premier League after game week 3, when Arsenal got 7 of their starters back, Arsenal have averaged 2.16 points per game, the 3rd best record in the Premier League. Now you can't just forget the first 3 games, but it's very important to note the changes that happened. We brought on the likes of Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, Ben White came back in there, Gabriel returned to fitness, you had Partey and Xhaka starting as well. I think what this shows is the quality of this Arsenal first team, and for me there's no doubts in talking about the first 11 players, these are Champions League quality players. But as Mikel Arteta says, I don't like to look at the table a lot because we have games in hand. We are going to play different fixtures, and I know the objective, and it's only one: to try and improve tomorrow on what we've done today. Game by game, that has to be the focus. Forget about Chelsea, United and Spurs in weeks time. Our only focus right now has to be in 7 days time, and that is Patrick Vieira's Crystal Palace. It's away from home, it's a hard game, but it's a game that if the Arsenal players turn up and do their jobs, we are more than capable of going there, getting the 3 points and moving closer to the Champions League. But that is the video there, so if you guys have enjoyed, make sure to go down there and smash a like, and also do subscribe to the channel if you are new. Follow your boy on them social medias if you want to, especially on that brand new TikTok, that would be massively appreciated. But that was all of the latest Arsenal news today, so I hope you guys have enjoyed and been informed as always, and 7 days until Arsenal back. Until then, I'll see you next time. Take care. In a bit.